want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
What a great way to end 2018. It's the good old 401 rivalry here in the National Basketball League of Canada as we welcome you live to the WFCU Center in Windsor, Ontario. Two teams looking to make an impact statement. It's the London Lightning against the Windsor Express. Good evening, I'm Aaron Sanders. That's JP Justin Prince. We hope your holiday season has been terrific and it treated you real well. But now we get back to basketball action. You know, JP, when it comes to this rivalry, we're always surprised at the new players that can step up, and most likely the veterans too, who know a thing or two about it. But today, the London Lightning, they get a new player. Well, not a new player, not only a great player, but he's super, man.
Yes, indeed. Alex Superman Johnson making his return to the NBL for his sixth season in the league after signing with the London Lightning officially in this upcoming week for his debut tonight. He is somebody that is a very good point guard that can help this guard position for the London Lightning, and is also someone that's well liked across the league for his veteran prowess. The main thing, of course, he was traded 4 times his signing rights around the world in 5 months. Finally lands in the right landing spot for him on the season. We will see him in limited minutes tonight, but we'll see as time goes on how much his role continues to increase once he gets more comfortable with the London Lightning system.
Well, the London Lightning, they lost their last 2 games in a row, and those were home losses. They lost to Halifax and they lost to KW, but under Coach Elliot Etherington, you got to think of it, they're going in the right path. Despite him starting off 3 games with a 1-2 record, you've seen them improving in rebounds and the assist, so safe to say it can only go up from here.
Indeed, but there's still a lot they want to work on, of course. Talked with them a little bit before today's game, mentioning things like offensive rebounding is a major concern for the London Lightning squad. 34 allowed in those 2 losses, Aaron. If that happens tonight, it's going to be hard to win the possession game against a team like Windsor, known for its more well-balanced rebounding. That still needs to improve as well. That's why you got to think as well. This is a team that shoots the ball a lot. A lot of pick and pop. A lot of shooting with the big men. It's going to need consistency shooting-wise tonight for them, as well as on the box outs.
Well, you talk about the Windsor Express, and here we are coming off a big win against the Island Storm by about 28 points. But you know what? The name of the game has been consistency, and I talked to a couple of players that talked to Scott Newman. They still want to maintain that consistency because, again, with a 3-7 record, you just got to keep on winning.
You have to right now. They have not won back-to-back games, any time this season. It was huge confidence to do so. They know for a fact, though, that this is going to be a tough matchup, of course. When you look at the rosters, there's only 2 big active big men, that you can classify as big men on the Windsor Express roster. As well, you got to make sure that you defend well. It's going to be a challenge. The theme this year we talked about has been consistency, not just on the court now, but mentality-wise, and try to gain the habits. The question is, how the habits they've been working on in practice worked out enough to try and get a W tonight.
Absolutely. You know, when it comes to this 401 rivalry, you talk about a lot of things. Coming into today, there are 5 players that played on both sides of the Windsor Express team and the London Lightning team. With that being said, do you think there's a whole lot more emphasis to this game, or will it just be a normal game?
I think based on some of the discussions, it's kind of a normal game because this year they're at the bottom of what would be the Central Division rankings. Remember, you have to basically at least be in the 4th spot of the Old Division system to make it into the whole season. Windsor is outside that window. So with a quarter of the season done, 5-6 for London, 3-7 for Windsor, it's another game where they can start to try and turn it around, not just a rivalry tonight. Not the same case either strategy-wise.
That's right. Well, time for the keys of the game. What are you doing if you're going to be London?
I think if you're London, the focus is box out on the rebounds. You cannot afford to get killed on the offensive glass for yet another game, especially in the 4-1 rivalry. As well, be prepared to try and prepare for the unexpected. Expect guys like Luke Cochran potentially to get some more shots as he continues to get a bigger and bigger role with the Windsor Express. Also watch yourself with this game because the way it is right now for the team with London, they need to improve on field goal percentage overall. They're towards the bottom in some of the games overall this season. If they shoot a weak field goal percentage, they're going to have a very tough time tonight.
On the other side of the spectrum, the Windsor Express are the best team when it comes from shooting from three-point land. But in addition to that and other wide shot choices, what else do they have to do to overcome a good, tough London Lightning team?
They need to figure out a way to get the small ball to line up to work, because if they allow the big men for the London Lightning to dominate in the paint, they're going to get killed on the scoreboard sheet and in the points in the paint. Also expect them to try and grab as many possessions as they can to try and take over the pace of this matchup. Also talking about what Scott knew a little bit before is basically focusing on the fundamentals, including reducing the field goal percentage on the overall game. Force them to take tough shots without causing fouls, mind you, and then go from there. Force them below the season average in field goal percentage is one of the main keys for Windsor tonight.
Absolutely. One thing to mention, too, one of the Express vices, and we keep on mentioning this on these pregame shows, their vices have been getting in foul situations. We've seen 3 or 4 players in foul trouble, mainly their starters. You talk about DeAndre Thomas for one who comes off the bench. Ryan Anderson, one of their starters, coming off for 2. So they really got to manage those fouls because, again, when it comes to this Lightning team, they love to attack. They love to fly into the air. So this is going to be a big challenge for them in terms of that department.
Especially when you have so many big men, of course, with London that can take advantage. We talked about this with Thomas in the top 10 of disqualifications as in fouled out of game situations this year. You can't afford to do that. If you have Ryan Anderson and Thomas in foul trouble, you do not have as much depth, I think, with your Windsor on the bench tonight. So you got to make sure you limit the fouls. If you have something like a third quarter situation again, for a couple of home games ago like Windsor had, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to get outshot from the free throw line 10-1.
Well, I'll say this. This is going to be a challenging but yet interesting game for the fans to see. So it's the London Lightning and the Windsor Express partaking into another battle of the 401 rivalry. So that's the story from us down here. We're going to go upstairs and we're going to call the game for you when we return to the WFCU Center in a moment. You're watching Windsor Express Basketball Network, where it's Liuna Night, presented by Booster Juice. We'll be back.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
All right, we're back at the WFCU Center. The London Lightning are about to do battle with the Windsor Express. Once again, the 401 rivalry is in real big effect here. And we are just set to do the introductions, the national anthem, and the tip-off. And for that, national anthem time, let's turn things over to the public address voice of the Windsor Express, Mark Knight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps for tonight's national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Windsor recording artist R. Jones. Joining R. Jones at center court carrying the Canadian flag is Ron Villegas, who is our father of the game. The Windsor Express and Curtis J.K. Printing would like to acknowledge and show our appreciation to our dedicated fathers all season long by highlighting someone who each game. Thanks to Ron and Curtis J.K. Printing. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. In all thy sons command, with the blowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you, R. Jones, for coming out.
All right, that was Rodney Jones with a stirring rendition of the national anthem. And it's now time for the starting lineups for both of these teams. Let's go back down courtside.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to and we have a member of the London Lightning at center court for the ceremonial ball toss. And we have a member of the London Lightning at center court for the ceremonial ball toss. goalkeepers. Number 15, Garrett Williamson. And number 31, Kurt Williams Jr. The head coach of London is Elliot Everington. If I can direct your attention to the Jumbotron. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's full steam ahead as we meet the starting lineup for the 2018-2019 Windsor Express, presented by Quality Suites. Starting off tonight, wearing number 1, give it up for Juan Patello. Let's hear it for number 10, Terrell Tate. Here comes the number 22, Horace Worley. Number 25, Luke Cochran. And let's not forget number 44, Ryan Anderson. The head coach of Windsor Express is Bill Jones. Assistant coaches are Aaron McDonald and Neil Foreman.
Well, you heard the introductions for both team starters. We'll run them down for you. For the London Lightning, Mo Bolden gets to start with Xavier Moon, Marcus Capers, Garrett Williamson, and Kirk Williams Jr. And Alex Superman Johnson will start off the bench. For the Windsor Express, their usual starters, Juan Patello, Terrell Tate, Horace Wormley, which I forgot his nickname was the Gingerbread Man, Luke Cochran, the big man in the middle, and Ryan Anderson rounding out the starting five for the Windsor Express. Referees for tonight's game, Jeff Astles, Chris Delaney, and Tony Turnbull. We see the crowd filing in here at the WFCU Center, JP. A lot more than expected because the 401 rivalry, once again, brings a lot of attention to everybody.
Yes, indeed. It brings a lot of fans down, up the 401 down to the Rose City. With how big this rivalry is, it's going to be an interesting game tonight as well to watch overall. That could have a lot of intensity and energy. Who's going to stay the most composed and who's going to stay the most conditioned as the game goes on? We're going to find out.
We will find out for sure, and as you can see, the Express are wearing their red jerseys and the Lightning are wearing their black jerseys, but a difference is it's Laiuna night, so they are wearing themed jerseys because both of these clubs, they have a representative of Laiuna. London, Laiuna 1059, and Windsor has Laiuna 625 as well, so they're wearing special themed jerseys too. Patillo and Bolden will tip it off. We're underway here at the WFCU Center as the Express will get the ball. And the whistle blows, and we are 8 seconds in.
It looks like a shot clock issue here, Aaron. The shot clock did not start after the tip.
That's right. It should be at 16 seconds. We're 8 seconds into this game. And
but you have to say with the way this lineup looks right now, Windsor keeping the same lineup as their last game against the Island Storm. London, of course, having a little bit of tweaks with their bench now with Alex Johnson, electing to start his time with London from the bench tonight.
You know, it's quite interesting, too, because Usually when it comes to the Windsor Express and a multitude of these teams, JP, when you're about to set on your first game, you usually start. I mean, we've seen that from Tyrell Tate. He had a good impact in his first game as an Express player, but the London Lightning playing a safer route here.
You got to remember, too, Alex Johnson was just officially signed yesterday. While he may have been in there possibly a couple days before to say warm-ups to feel comfortability, it's still going to take time to learn the system again against under head coach Hetherington.
Cochran with the rebound in the first 2 of the game.
And a good rebound. There's the box-out issue that London's been having the past few games, coming to play quickly. No one there on the paint for London. Windsor on the board early.
They pass it around. Bolden fires it from near the key. He puts it in. And we're tied at 2.
And that's where some of the size comes in, specifically the shooting big men that the London Lightning have that can just shoot above the defenders. It's going to be tough to challenge and defend them tonight. Win on defense.
Tonight it will be size versus execution as Patillo misses the shot from the free throw line. And Bolden picks up the board. Williamson. And the bucket. He'll go to the line for the three-point play.
And that's where Garrett Williamson, for so many years in the NBLC, we see him being able to go against the contact and still make layups. Multiple times getting N1s with that hop step into the paint, Euro stepping for the layup.
And he's also known as a clutch player, too. How many times have we seen him the last couple of years? Not only broadcasting for the Lightning and the Express, have we seen him provide so many clutch plays in down-to-the-wire situations.
We've seen it so many times, especially being able to draw big contact and big N1s.
Catch and shoot is good for Ryan Anderson.
And a good shot to start off Anderson shooting for the night. Also a very talented player, especially from the mid-range and three-point land.
And that's been his bread and butter for all these years as Kirk Williams Jr. gets the shot from the circle. And immediately it's a 4-4 game. Anderson will get fouled.
And it looks like Windsor trying to mix up the tempo a little bit. Both sides really going faster tempo, not to the point where it's NASCAR style, but trying to keep each other's defense off guard and tire them out, hope to tucker them out for potentially later on in this game.
Remember, that was the same pace the Express put on when they played against PEI last week, and that provided a lot of promise in their 28-point victory.
Yes, indeed. In that game, too, Anderson had a heck of a game in the starting 5, of course. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in that matchup.
And Anderson knocks down both free throws. Also, worth noting, mention, he's 8th in the league when it comes to free throws, 84%, and those 2 shots did it justice. The Lightning get the ball back, 9 on the shot clock. Quick drive outside. Williamson finds Williams Jr. And they miss it. Ball's tapped around. It will be Express ball as Garrett Williamson stepped on the line trying to save it.
A bit of a streaky start for both sides, Rogue. Well, they have 6 points apiece. Shooting's not looked quite consistent quite yet so far. Most of the points, of course, coming from the line so far.
Tied game. 9:45 remaining in the opening quarter. Wormley on the left side. He'll spot up, and it goes.
And Wormley's getting stronger and stronger as the year has gone on with contested jump shots. We've seen it in the past couple of years, getting more comfortable with the Windsor system.
Here's a quick shot. It is no good. Here comes Patillo, and here comes the Express on the run. Wormley, yes. Once again, type of the responsibility you would expect from Horace Wormley, the veteran in the NBLC. And here's another veteran with the ball, Garrett Williamson. 13 on the shot clock. He'll go scoop it up, no good. And Patillo's there to pick up the board. Loose ball. And Patillo will seize it. Quick tap around by Williams Jr. on the steal, and Williamson will take it home.
Great defense from the London Lightning that possession. Started with Xavier Moon breaking up the play in the front court. Then Kirk Williams Jr. right there for the outlet pass in the up front to be able to poke it away and force the quick fast break.
2-point game as Patillo will slam it down with 2 hands. And now the Express lead by 4. Bolden over to Xavier Moon. Here's Moon from the elbow. He'll miss it from the front. And here's Wormley. Wormley head of the pack. Williams Jr. got a hand on it, but it goes out of bounds. Correction, that's Marcus Capers who had his hand on the ball. Jalon Kendrick will come in for London. And A.J. Gaines, 2 high flyers for the London Lightning.
Yeah, there's so much depth on this London Lightning squad when you look at it, especially at the wing and big man spots. So tough to deal with them.
Cochran misses a 3 from the side. It's poked around, and here comes London on the move. Gaines misses it, and Anderson with a rebound. My mistake, that's Tyrell Tate. He tries to break through the double team. He gets taken away.
Not a smart pass on the play there. Through 2-3 different defenders, you gotta be smarter. Look if you can towards the other direction, not into traffic.
Williamson outside. Bolden knocks down the 3.
And Windsor's defense caught sleeping there, just misconvolulated, not set up for the pick and pop that time.
And those are one of those plays that both these clubs got to look after talking to a couple of the coaches here this afternoon. Patillo all by himself, spots it up, can't kiss it off the glass. And the Lightning get the ball back. This is Capers. Good move, and they hit the deck, and it's travel.
And it looks like that's going to allow DeAndre Thomas into the game. A couple of substitutions. It looks like Marvin Phillips, the big dog, into the game too.
We got the big dog into the lineup. Marvin Phillips, well-known London Lightning veteran, and DeAndre Thomas on the floor too. And once again, DeAndre Thomas, one of the players you got to look after off the bench, because after what we talked about with Elliot Etherington, head coach of the London Lightning, a potential 6th Man of the Year candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. As it looks like ball's been tapped out of bounds, and it looks like it will stay Windsor possession. But to get back to Thomas, coaches, we talked about this a little bit before earlier on the season, that for Thomas, this is probably the best shape he's been conditioning-wise in his career with the Windsor when it comes to playing with the Windsor Express. He has been just absolutely the most dominant player, and look at this.
And there's your point right there as DeAndre Thomas gets 2 points in, and it's a 3-point lead for Windsor.
Down low on the glass, he can eat up the boards. As well, be able to make contested layups just like that with ease. That's where that size definitely comes in for Thomas.
Look at Kendrick breaking through the defense, and he pops down the J. And it's a 1-point game once again for Windsor. Back and forth game so far as we're almost halfway into the first quarter. And here's DeAndre Thomas near the elbow. He'll pass it right back. Tate on the spin move. Back out is Wormley. Wormley, the pass to Patillo. Double teamed. 4 on the shot clock. Thomas, Wormley will put it up, and he'll miss it off the side. Bolden with a rebound. And a foul on the floor here. They'll prompt to 2 free throws.
And it looks like, based on what we've been seeing, that if London can get one of those longer rebounds from, say, a mid-range jump shot or a 3-point attempt from the Express, they're going to start running down the floor and try and take advantage. 3-2 on the fast break, basically, as Tate is out of the game now with the team's second and his second foul of the game already.
His second foul, that's not good, and we will have our first media timeout of the ball game. Express 14, Lightning 13. We'll be back.
It starts here, where Jamie lost 145 pounds and became a leader, inspiring others to get active. Where Cheryl didn't let her fear of water keep her kids from learning to swim. Where Valerie got fit after retiring, and at 90 years old, she's still dancing to the beat. Vitality, courage, transformation. A healthier you starts here. What will your story be? Join the YMCA today.
Halfway into this game as the Express have a 1-point lead over the London Lightning here on Liuna night. And once again, this is going to be a good night. The jerseys you see from both of these clubs, they're representing their Liuna outlets, and The fans will be able to purchase those games based off a silent auction after tonight's game. So there will be auctioning off both the Express and the Lightning jerseys down the information table, down to section 106. Any jerseys without a bid will be auctioned off on the website at windsorexpress.ca for a week after tonight's game. So if you're able to place your bid for your favorite player's jersey, and get this, you might take home a piece of the game. So good luck to all of you. But once again, a good noteworthy cause for both of these teams to participate in tonight.
Yeah, that's the main thing. In past years, we've seen Windsor with the special jerseys, the opponents not with them. It's good to get London involved here at the WFCU Center for this special game tonight, with both of them having the special jerseys. But I have to say this right now, with the way the game's going on so far, while Windsor is up on the scoreboard, if they keep on playing weak on the perimeter defense like they've been doing so far in the first quarter, they're going to fall behind and fall behind quick here.
Once again, the previous foul was on Tyrell Tate. He picks up his second foul, so therefore he goes to the free throw line. A.J. Gaines at the line, and he knocks down the first free throw. Had a couple of substitutions coming in before the media timeout, JP.
Yes, Angelo Griffiths coming into the game rather for the first time tonight with the substitutions. He's been getting a bigger and bigger role, I have to say, with Griffiths as the season has gone on, and made himself a mainstay after being originally an IR designate for one of his fellow teammates.
And Angelo has been confident from the three-point line, too, as we have a quick foul down low. And again, one of those situations you got to look after if you're the Windsor Express.
Yeah, you have to, and has definitely been a pleasant surprise with his 11.6 points per game and 2.8 rebounds and 2.2 assists, for sure, for someone that just had previously played in Sweden, first time in the NBLC this year.
Here's spot up Jay, and it's no good. On the rebound down low was Jalen Bab Harrison, who's also into the game. Jelon Kendrick loses control, and Bolden bails him out. Bab Harrison slots up, and it hits the front. DeAndre Thomas with a rebound. Here comes the Express. They slow it down after a 3-on-3. Shots missed by Anderson, and here comes the Lightning again. Ball movement ends up with Bolden missing the three.
Really good ball movement, something else that Coach Hetherington has been focusing on improving, as here comes Wormley.
Wormley bumps into his own guy, and therefore it's a travel. Not a good decision.
You have to be on the same page there. Ran straight into Patillo there. I think Patillo might have been expecting the quick pass to go for the slam dunk. Instead, Wormley was thinking, try and stretch it out to the three-point corner, to the left side corner, rather. You got to be on the same page.
I admire the responsibility that Wormley has, but once again, with so much responsibility, there might be a couple of flaws in that too, and that was indication of that quick foul drawn by A.J. Gaines. That's going to be on Ryan Anderson.
And that's something to watch for, because Anderson's been picking up a fair amount of fouls in some of these games. Just his first.
So the third team foul for the Express. 2. Gaines fires it. No good. Quick rebound. It's one of those offensive rebounds we've been talking about. Something that the London Lightning needed to capitalize on. As Phillips misses from downtown, and Anderson will pick up the rebound. Patillo loses control. Will get the foul.
That would have been a tough shot to put up in the first place. Good to draw the contact, though, and now has a chance to add 2 more points to the Windsor score to try and retake the lead early, shooting 71% from the stripe so far, Aaron.
That's right, one of those reliable free throw shooters, too. Is one of the reasons why the Express are second from the free throw line this year, 77% from the free throw line collectively from the team. As Patillo will miss the first one, it hits off the front.
And you got to say, too, he's been kind of a mainstay with Windsor whenever he's been with the roster. We talked about this a little bit before in previous games, but when he came over in February a few seasons ago, he changed the whole complexion of that season. He's done the same thing each time on the floor, my goodness.
Look how Phillips up in the air, and that's an offensive foul. There's one thing about this London Lightning team is they're high flyers, but there are some risk and consequences when it comes to going in the air.
We talked about this a little bit on the way. Younger team, which also in some correlation means higher verticals for some of the players. Guys like Moon have stuck out to me when following along with them. So great athleticism for some of these players.
Anderson's three goes in and out. Patillo picks up the rebound. Back over top Thomas. Here's Chris Jones, one of the new players for the Windsor Express, only in his second game. With the footwork, fakes around, falls away, misses it. Thomas, the rebound, gets rejected. And the Lightning loses their assignment there. It'll go back to Windsor.
Yes, and that was a whole misconvolulated possession there for both teams, really. Just no communication when when the ball started getting deflected around and around and around. Instead, it goes and says the ball says hello to some fans.
So the Windsor Express, they get an extra possession out of this. Anderson knocks down the three.
And that was a little bit deep there that time. Sometimes those shots have gone at the front of the rim for Anderson. That time, just enough of the rim to just softly roll in this time.
And with that, the Express are up three. Quick defense, and it's taken away. Here's Jones.
And there's the experience from the Louisville Cardinals coming in from his collegiate days, forcing the quick transition, giving them the lightning quick floor general that the Windsor Express needed when coming in, and now timeout on the floor.
Elliot Etherington wants to talk it over. We'll stay here. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left into the quarter. We said at the beginning it was fast-paced game, a NASCAR-style offense and defense from both clubs, but everything has been going the Express way.
Yes, especially in the past couple minutes, starting to run together. A quick 5-0 run in the span of about 20 seconds because of the steal from Jones. They've been locking down the defensive down on the perimeter much more better since the timeout at the 6-minute mark. They've also been able to force a lot of more turnovers and been able to keep the fast break a bit more in wraps right now for the London Lightning. That London was taken advantage of so many times when they were able to take advantage down the floor in a 3-2 rush up the floor.
I like on one side of the play, we've seen Wormley turn the ball over because he bumped into Patillo. I like the resiliency and the redemption from the Windsor Express from that play. And all it took was a timeout just to calm things down a little bit and find their way to get this pace going on their side.
And basketball is a game of adjustments, so you have to make sure you tell your team what they need to do to try and get the W. That's what Coach Jones did, what he needed to do in that situation with that timeout, and able to do so the way he needed to. The question is, though, how Coach Hetherington trying to adjust, because right now he has been he still have not seen Alex Johnson in the game yet for once, so he has that for potential limited minutes that we can see potentially later on to see how he feels to try and change this game if need be. But right now, Windsor's got the control and the momentum in this game.
They do, but London has the ball right now. You know, when it comes to this London Lightning team, JP, you got a young coach in Elliot Etherington who took charge of the head coach role after Keith Vassell and the Lightning mutually agreed to part ways. Only 1-2 since his tenure, but once again, when it comes to this young team, more experience on the court, and it brings a lot more firepower to this team.
Yeah, you mentioned it during the pregame. Higher offense statistically since he started coaching with the London Lightning. Once again, it's the head coach on the staff. But it's a process. It takes time to get used to a system.
What a step back J from DeAndre Thomas. Gets it right down from the left elbow, and he just lets it fly. And the Express fly with a 7-point lead. Loose ball. DeAndre Thomas with the steal. Jones will go to the line.
And how about that once again from Thomas? Poked it on loose very quickly, and now chance for Jones to go to the line to shoot for two here.
And you know, DeAndre Thomas was right out of his position near the half-court line, and he made that good defensive play.
And found the way to get the pass to Jones, too, while making sure it got underneath the arm of the now defender after the forced steal.
Remember, too, over the years, DeAndre Thomas has shown his wide vision when it comes to passing. It's really paid dividends there, as Chris Jones will knock down the first free throw.
Yes, indeed, and I think right now they might have said a bit too hard contact or possible flagrant here, which is why no one is standing at the line along with them.
So with those free throws, the Express won't get the ball back because of that said case. Daniel Dooley comes into the game, and we talked to Scott Dooley early on before tip-off, JP, and he says, you know, with his ankle, he's still 85%. He didn't look like he was 85% in his first game back against PEI on Sunday afternoon.
He looked pretty good, made a few good jump shots, and look at that defensive play.
That's the defensive stop the Lightning needed, and here comes Garrett Williamson running the court. Williamson up and in. He'll go to the line for the and one.
Once again, gets himself in the paint with the bit of the hop step, draws contact, draws another N1. There's a reason he scored more than 2,000 points as a Canadian in this league.
More than 2,000 points for the Canadian. In addition to that, he's been averaging almost 16 points per game too. I mean, what can you say about Garrett Williamson? There's a plethora of awards that he has captured in his past number of years as part of the London Lightning, but nothing more valuable than the Finals MVP he captured last season after beating the Halifax Hurricanes in 7 tough games.
And it was a much-deserved Finals MVP, I think, as well, because he was a major part of that team's system for that season.
And the Lightning got lucky not getting the foul from behind.
Yeah.
They poked the ball around, and here's Williamson with the steal. Williamson finding Moon. And the three goes.
Smart extra pass from Walden to Moon. Able to stretch the defense towards Walden, then take advantage. Moon had a bit of a hesitation, but still, great shot, great execution.
Lightning still into this game, a 3-point Express lead with 1:35 remaining in the first. And here's Thomas. Near the three, 101 on Bolden, his former teammate. He'll fire it up, he'll put it in, and he'll go to the line for the three-point play.
And he's starting to bring a little bit more a spin shot in the post moves tonight. Usually we see him more with the left hook or the right hook, more so than the spin, but he's been bringing this out pretty efficiently tonight.
It's been pretty interesting to see what DeAndre Thomas has been doing this season. And remember, this is his 7th year in the NBLC. Played one game with the then Halifax Raymond in the first year of the league's existence. Spent 2012, 2013, and a little bit of the 17-18 season with the London Lightning. And overall, this is his 5th year in Windsor, so it's safe to say when you bring a veteran back like DeAndre Thomas, it brings up a lot of promise because we see nothing but veterans coming back for the Windsor Express.
While there is one player only returning from last year's group, a lot of players that have played under Bill Jones have come back to play with Windsor as the shot is made from Williamson.
So Williamson knocks 2 more down. It's a 4-point game with more than a minute to go. The pump fake by Griffiths, and he finds Dooley.
1 minute to play in the quarter. 1 minute.
Jones with the fake, with the spin move, the hesitation. They're running out of time, and it will be out of bounds. Dooley wasn't ready for that pass.
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting. It was a bit of a no-look of it there from Jones, hoping that he was in the right spot, knowing that he was in trouble trying to pivot on his foot to try and avoid the travel.
53.9 seconds remaining in the first quarter, which has been back and forth. But it's Windsor with a 4-point lead, rather. Williams Jr. sizes down, falls away, no good. Chris Jones with the rebound. And the Express will let the play breathe.
Yeah, much more slower tempo, waiting until the 8 seconds on the shot clock to get the play going.
Cochran with the pick. He won't get the ball, but Otley Jr. can and will make it. On the other end, Kendrick loses the ball. It will be Express ball with 14 seconds to go.
I'm not sure what the logic was there on the inbound there. That was like a touchdown pass attempt rather than an inbound. Just not smart.
I mean, it's good to see the London Lightning trying to take care of business on the fast break, but that ball was too far away from Jelon Kendrick's range. So the shot clock is dead with 10 seconds to go. Chris Jones with the ball. 1-on-1 on Moon. Jones with the step through the defense and a bucket. What a beauty by Chris Jones as Williamson will put it up. And it will not go. And that's the story for the first quarter as the Express will take an 8-point lead into the end of the first quarter.
And a really good start for the Windsor Express. The question is, can they keep the momentum going? Can they keep playing lockdown defense? We'll have to see once we come back here on the Windsor Express Network.
The job market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
There's quite a few familiar faces on the court tonight on both sides of the team. Obviously, you got DeAndre Thomas on the Windsor side. Obviously, actually was cut by London earlier before returning to Windsor. Then there's Ryan Anderson, the Express's arguably best player, knocking down threes every night. He's a key contributor and a member that drives the offense for him. Switching over to the London side, you got Kirk Williams Jr. He's a guy who actually was a member of the Windsor Express when they won their championship, won Finals MVP, a big part of that team. Then you switch it up, you got Mo Bolden, who's quietly having a very good season for himself over in London, averaging 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. And in the most recent addition, you have Alex Johnson, who the former first overall pick in this league. Expect big things from him and a big contributor on offense. It just shows that despite being on different teams, there's connections among all players in this league. I'm going to send it back up top to the booth.
That was Cody Waller, sideline reporter for tonight's game, and no question about it, JP. When you look at the court, there's been a total of 5 players that have played for both the Express and the London Lightning, and the fact that this is a 401 rivalry, it has a lot of emphasis when it comes to these specific players tonight.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and we've seen most of them play so far in this matchup. The question is, can it keep on playing an impact? Kirk Williams Jr. has been having a good impact. And I'm glad that Cody brought up a guy like Mo Bolden, quietly having about 16 points per game, as well as those 9 rebounds so far, to help at the power forward spot / center spot.
Absolutely. He's been doing wonders for this London Lightning team over the last couple of years. So it's safe to say when you have a great piece of the puzzle like that, you don't want to let it go. As we're into the second quarter, Moon will spot up from the free throw line. That is short, flat as day-old soda, as I would say. Quick lob out to Dooley. Back to Jones. Jones, the footwork. The fall away. The make.
And I'm really impressed with Jones. That's kind of why they brought him in. More as a floor general, but also has the ability to make shots in the mid-range while on top of those laser-focused passes.
Moon goes up. It's no good. It's poked around. And the Express will get it back. Full court pressure from London. And Jones, Cochran misses the assignment. He wasn't ready for the pass.
And there's where the laser-focused passing is. The downside is sometimes it takes time for your teammates to get expected for the no-look passes.
Hartley Jr.'s flat as day-old soda. We got 2 flat sodas in this game. Williamson up and in again. He'll go to the line once again. Garrett Williamson. I think we know who could be the star for the London Lightning tonight just early on.
3rd 3-point play of the night so far, Aaron. And each time, Euro stepping into the paint, drawing contact, this time with the left hand for the layup. Just the most efficient player in the NBLC when it comes to drawing that with the soft layup, compared to some others that use power to draw the N1.
And guess who's also another versatile player in the NBLC? Checking in for the first time, Alex Superman Johnson. He'll be wearing number 6 tonight. A whole lot to talk about him when we get to him. Here's Griffiths. Johnson will have the assignment on him. Now they switch it. Here's Chris Jones. Tate, the fake. And gets rejected. Big rejection from Kirk Williams Jr.
It was like running towards a brick wall that time. Look at the steal, though.
And another brick wall as Jones will put it up and in.
Perfect spot to reach for the steal. Perfect spot to go coast to coast as the fast break goes.
And nobody saw Chris Williams Jr. open, as he'll get an easy 2.
And there's that inbound. This time it was a little bit of a shorter inbound to Kirk Williams Jr., not like the full court pass last time.
So a good sequence of plays from both clubs as Patillo finds Jones again. Jones from the parking lot. Put her there.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think we have the deepest made 3 so far this season for the Windsor Express. farthest we've seen him attempt a shot by far so far with this time with Windsor in the first couple games.
You know, as far as that shot was, it might have been halfway through the 401 as that ball gets poked away. Patillo. And they move the ball around. Tate looks to be flustered. He'll find Patillo to bail him out. Patillo loses control of the ball, stolen by Williams Jr., and he'll get the foul. It will be Patillo who gets the foul.
And that was already trying to prevent the fast break at the same time. But many coaches try and teach players, do not dribble the ball up high because it allows you a chance, the defender rather, to try and swat in and poke the ball loose. That time, Patillo tried to transition from high to low while in the transition downward. Leaves it open for the steal. London has possession.
See some substitutions here. Horace Wormley comes back in for Windsor, as Superman Johnson will get his first touch of the ball as part of the London Lightning. Johnson, what a fake by Johnson, and he'll find Capers, who slams it home.
Great passing and great pump fake there from Alex Superman Johnson. He's been a veteran in this league for many years, and he knows what works to try and set up those kind of dimes.
And immediately makes an impact from the bench. Cochran, no good. Bolden taps it to Johnson. Cross-court pass over to Williams Jr. He'll get the ball back. Good look into Williamson. Gets the foul, and he will return to the charity stripe. Once again, he got Anderson up and running with that pump fake.
And that's now his second. Now with the foul, too. Terrell Tate's now in big-time foul trouble, Aaron.
Correction, and once again, one of the express vices as Ryan Anderson has to come back in early. And once again, when you have a guy like Terrell Tate on the bench, you got to avoid the fill. The guy could score, the guy could rebound. But again, when Ryan Anderson replaces somebody, he'll make do with that responsibility. He could get the job done. But the question is, can they stay under foul trouble?
That's going to be the key right now. They aren't really out there in fouls, just 3 total so far in the quarter. But then again, London has not had a single whistle called against them so far in the first 3.5 minutes.
What a shot by Jones. He gets the fadeaway 3 to go. And those are tricky to make.
Yeah.
Johnson, he'll try for the 3 and he'll put it in.
Speaking of kind of tricky to make there, a bit of a slight leaner on the pull jump shot to try and respond back. These point guards are dropping buckets tonight.
Wormley, another point guard, gives it to Patillo. He'll get the ball back. Wormley kicks out. Anderson misses the 3. And right down low is Bolden with a rebound. Under 8 minutes to go in the half. Johnson will run the offense. Williams Jr. couldn't control the ball, and it will stay with London because Patillo poked the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it looks like he tried to reach in with the left hand to try and get the steal. But that was a bad pass there. It looked like it was off the mark and forced Kirk Williams Jr. to have to stretch the corner.
Williams Jr. gets it poked away from Jones. London will retain possession. 8 seconds on the shot clock, however. Lightning lose control of the ball again. 2 on the shot clock. Johnson, it will be a shot clock violation. Good defense from the Express, but once again, that's a rare mistake from Superman Johnson. He didn't look up at the shot clock, rather.
Or Kirk Williams Jr. because of the double team. The double team was blocking the shot clock for Johnson, and by the time Kirk Williams Jr. looked up, he tried to cut towards the basket, only had 1 second remaining. Not enough time to even attempt something.
So that's a turnover for the Lightning. Jones cutting through Johnson, and he'll put it up and in. How about these tough shots these guards have been making tonight?
Yeah, they've been able to break through the defense like Swiss Army knife so far. Great pass meanwhile.
Williams Jr. misses a 3. He'll go back to Windsor. Surprisingly, it does, because I could have swore one of the Express players were the last ones to touch it.
Yeah, I thought it was topped out for Ryan Anderson. But to get back to the point, both of them, really Wormley as well as Jones as well as everyone else really has been really shifty for both the teams so far to try and work their way and squeak their way through defense and with the passing so far.
Jones misses the 3 from the top. And here's Williamson grapevining through the defense. Gets the step and the bucket. Nothing more you can say about Garrett Williamson.
Yeah, nothing you can say indeed right now. Other than he is looking really red hot in this first half so far tonight.
Quick three, Anderson misses it, and Johnson is there for the rebound.
Johnson, Williamson, that will be a foul on the floor. It will be an offensive foul.
And a great charge from Wormley there, showing the hustle and putting the body to draw the whistle. And it looks like Jones is going to get a breather.
Alex Johnson is first, team first.
And they're going to go small ball, in fact, it looks like here. Having just Patel at the center spot that we've seen in the last game against the Island Storm.
And looking at this Windsor Express team, once again, not a lot of big men, but when it comes to that guard rotation, like you were talking about, JP, it opens up a lot more scoring and it brings up a lot of speed with just Patillo and Cochran being the big men.
And that's kind of the way the game is going.
Great contest right there from London. Capers gets it back, coast to coast, and he'll miss it. The Express with a rebound. Williams Jr. will get the foul. As you see right down there, Angelo Griffiths jumps into the arms of his coach, Bill Jones.
Looked like a little bit of a smile from Bill Jones, but it looks like he wants the media timeout, and I think he's going to get it. In fact, yes.
And it will be a media timeout as the Express are up 6.
The market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
All right, 6-point lead for the Windsor Express. As once again, we've seen a couple of big men persevering here today, but it looks to be the guard balls, small ball for both of these clubs today.
I was getting to that point right before that last shot. That's the way the game of basketball is going. A lot of teams are trying to utilize double point guard systems or smaller lineups overall in terms of size. What that means kind of sets up more perimeter shots, also allows you to be more quicker paced and a bit more freer across the floor in terms of your setup, really. And that's kind of the way the game of basketball is going, not just in the NBA, but in the NBL too, as we've seen this season, with teams like the Edge utilizing it sometimes.
Speaking of the Edge, once again, a lot of attention has been on them because of their big acquisition of Glenn Big Baby Davis. Since picking him up, the Edge has been looking nowhere but up. Been getting on good winning streaks, but in addition to that, there's still a long ways to go.
Yeah, still a ways to go. We're just a quarter way through the season here, 25%. These teams are focusing on that, trying to improve the next 25%. And that has to be the case for a lot of these teams in the standings, because for some teams, they were just hoping to get to 500, it looked like, before they can get the pieces they needed to. The Edge, 6-5 entering tonight's matchups.
Indeed. Quick update on the scoreboards from around the league. The Moncton Magic are up 5 against the Island Storm in the fourth quarter. And the Cape Breton Highlanders leading the Halifax Hurricanes by 11 as they're in the fourth quarter. And right here, as Patillo gets 2 more to go, it is a 8-point game.
And it looks like both teams are just trading buckets right now, the way they're playing the defense right now. When someone makes an exciting play, the other team answers quickly back.
Lightning finding some ways to get back into this game. It was a very close first quarter, but they've seen the lead expand as Bolden misses the fadeaway. Quick rebound by Griffiths. Anderson will slow things down against his former teammates. And Patillo misses the shot from the top.
Way too rushed on the shot. You could have taken a bit more time to get a higher quality attempt.
Williamson on the drive, kicks it outside. Ball almost got poked around. Here's Williams Jr., 9 on the shot clock. Lost control of it, will fling it. It'll miss it, and Anderson picks up the rebound. Griffiths misses it. And right down is Moon for the rebound. Moon, Williamson, the step and the bucket. Garrett Williamson, leading scorer for the London Lightning right now.
Yeah, he has just been red hot, especially in the paint. That's where most of his attempts have come, and Windsor's just been not able to adjust to it without making contact.
Here's Cochran, misses a 3. Fights for his own rebound but can't get it. Kirk Williams Jr. on the rebound. Bolden will get fouled.
And there it is once again. The Windsor Express forced into a bad situation defensively and forced a foul. And Bolden able to draw the quick contact. And now Patil's got some foul trouble a little bit. 2 now on the game.
So Marvell Wade and Jalen Bab Harrison will come in for London, and DeAndre Thomas will come back in for Windsor as Mo Bolden will head off to the line. Mo Bolden, one of those 5 players that have played on both sides of the 401 rivalry, Windsor and London respectively. 74% free throw shooter.
And as well in the NBA G League, as well with the Austin Spurs. That was the kind of that gap here between him and going from Windsor to London. And at the time, Dardis Rose had said it himself that they want players to succeed and get those opportunities. He's in bigger leagues, especially like the G League and the NBA.
AJ Gaines will be called for the foul off the shot. He'll be away from the action rather.
London foul, number 35, Anthony Gaines, his first, team third.
And quick substitutions for the London Lightning. Marvin Phillips comes back in. And here's Anderson, catch and shoot, and he'll miss it. Windsor Express haven't been looking good on their last couple of shots. As here's Moon, gets poked away by Thomas.
And that was a near disaster turnover there.
And Gaines up and no good, and Thomas will pick up the board. Anderson slows things down. Topside Wormley. It's going to be a technical foul.
Yeah, it's on the London bench, it looks like. Pointing directly to Elliot Harrington, pardon me.
So Elliot Etherington in the Lightning bench will get the technical foul. Ryan Anderson will shoot the technicals and get the possession back for Windsor.
Just, you have to stay cool and collected in this kind of a game. You can't get chippy with the officials. They're going to call that every single time if you say the magic words.
I wonder what those magic words are. I won't think about it. But once again, the new rule when it comes to the technical fouls, JP, 3 and you're out. Not 2, but 3. But it comes with interesting combinations too, either indirect or direct.
Yes, indeed. And I believe when it comes to coaching staffs, yes, indeed, it's indirect. Meaning they still got at least 1 more they give for that. Still 2 if you have 2 direct.
And Thomas breaks the shooting spell for Windsor and makes this an 8-point game. Here's Moon. And he'll give it to Gaines. And he'll knock it down from the elbow.
And a decent little jump shot with Thomas in his face. But Windsor still struggling to get back in a rhythm, and that's partly why.
Wormley turns it over. Here comes the Lightning. 3-on-3 as Bab Harrison misses the shot. Patillo will bring it up court. Jones trying to go off Patillo's pick. He doesn't need it. And it will be double dribble.
And I'm surprised that was the double dribble, to be honest there. He had the defender reaching right into his arms every 2 seconds there. But just a forced mistake by the tough defense. Good lockdown D overall, I think, from London.
Apparently, it's a foul on Chris Jones.
Huh. Really?
I find that interesting because I thought it was a double dribble.
I think maybe they might have said they put the elbow to him. My goodness.
And the bench wanted a foul. They won't get it. Instead, they'll get a rebound. Wormley with speed, with ease. He'll miss it. It'll go back to Windsor.
And this rivalry is getting more and more interesting for the season, I have to say. The last time these two teams met in the final few minutes, just 3 combined made field goals in the final 30-plus minutes, Aaron.
It was 99-98 the last time these two teams met. It was the beginning of the season.
December the 6th, in fact, yes.
December the 6th. That was a really close game. This is the second of 9 meetings between these two teams this year. 8 on the shot clock. The quick fake, the shot, and the make. And that will mean free throws from Marvin Phillips.
And now absolute foul trouble, I think, for the Windsor Express now. Another and one allowed tonight. And this one is on Thomas here, Aaron.
Yeah. Once again, those issues keep on piling up. I remember a few games ago when they played against Kitchener-Waterloo, the game went to overtime, and we seen starters in foul situations real early. This is beginning to look like that very game.
Yes, indeed it is right now. And we talked about this in the pregame. The more players in foul trouble, the more Windsor has to go in deeper in the bench, and that is where the weaknesses start to come in on this roster right now.
So DeAndre Thomas loses control of the ball. Quick whistle. It's going to be on London.
Yeah, I think Phillips tried to reach in right before that game of hot potato there with the basketball.
London foul, number 11, Jalen Bab Harris.
Turns out it'll be on Bab Harrison.
Huh.
A couple of head scratchers right there in the last couple of minutes right there. Because we've seen Chris Jones with the offensive foul. Now Jalen Bab Harrison's getting a foul. I thought it was on Phillips. Meanwhile, we go back to this game.
Think it might have been a little post look at the factory.
And it's showtime. Big time hammer dunk from A.J. Gaines. And Bill Jones will talk it over.
Yeah, absolute energy drainer here in this building there on the slam dunk. But you can tell Coach Jones is not happy. He's not happy about the foul trouble. 16 fouls in the quarter, and he's not happy with how his team has been playing in the past few minutes. Defense starting to fall apart, allow more fouls, as well as the ball movement completely collapsing in multiple forced and unforced turnovers in the past few minutes.
Remember, this lead was near double digits about a moment ago, and now that big breakaway slam from A.J. Gaines was the type of adrenaline and inspiration the Lightning needed, as we'll stay right here. Coming up at halftime, we'll go down to Cody Wall, see what he has to say, and you'll join us back up here, and we'll break down the stats and facts for the first half. But once again, we've seen the ball go Windsor's way in the first quarter, but the London Lightning still into this game. And when we said they had high-flying caliber players, we weren't joking, and we're seeing the best of that today.
And we've seen some of that on the layup line tonight. Going for windmill dunks in some cases, it looked like, or tomahawk slams while practicing for tonight's game. I don't see them holding back even more, so if they have that chance, we might see even more click-click Kodak moments tonight. To steal a kind of a catchphrase from Reggie Miller.
95 seconds remaining into this first half. As once again, not only we're seeing a good turnout of fans here tonight, we're seeing good London fans coming into this game too, as Anderson knocks down the three in the grill.
And there's a former member of the Lightning making the contested jump shot again. A deadly shooter when you can get him going in a game.
And a quick steal by Anderson. He has Moon behind him. He beats him.
Quick 5 points, and just like that, guess who takes back momentum? Windsor as this is near stolen away.
Thomas getting involved on the defense, but it will stay Lightning way.
I think that's the most active we've seen DeAndre Thomas in terms of trying to force steals so far this season, I have to say. Great hustle from the big man, but it looks like he has to go to the bench. It looks like Coach Jones wants him to keep himself emotionally in check, getting a little bit discussion-y with some of the London Lightning players.
Angelo Griffith comes in for the Express as there's 17 seconds on the shot clock. Marvell Waite, former River Lion, misses the shot. And here's Chris Jones again. Streaks through near the paint, inside Anderson. That basket won't count. It'll be a foul.
And it looks like it's going in the other direction. In fact, they said Anderson pushed off to try and go for the hop step.
Once again, one of the factors when you try to catch and shoot, you have so much space, you want to make sure that you maintain that same amount of space, and Anderson was a little bit too aggressive on that situation, and the Lightning will get the ball back. Here's Waite at the top. Here's Moon. Thought about the three, but won't go. He'll drive inside. He'll put it up the right hand, and it's good.
And that was a tough layup. He has such a old-style kind of layup for me, layup style, really, that gets a little bit of a floater and uses the glass to just bounce it on in when it comes to Moon.
Shot clock and game clock identical. We're under 8. Now down to 6. Wormley. Griffiths falls away. Got it. Angelo Griffiths closes out the first half as the Express will get a 6-point lead into the clubhouse.
A red-hot start to the night tonight for the Express, getting the momentum right on back to finish off the quarter. It's going to be difficult to try and game plan for this. The question is, though, with how much high-paced offense we've seen tonight and so many fast breaks, how will that affect how these players play in the second half?
We'll take a step aside, and after the short break, we'll send it down to Cody Wall with a halftime report, and we'll see you guys up here shortly after. You're watching the Windsor Express Basketball Network, brought to you by Booster Juice.
So public relations is like being a bridge between an organization and their public. As this public relations expert, you are a liaison, so you have to connect the brand or the business or the company with their public in such a way that the public responds to them in a positive manner. So the advantages of taking public relations at St. Clair College is that we have access to the Mediaplex. Now the Mediaplex offers us a converged education. It's one of 3 in the world and the only one in Canada. What that means is that we're taught in film, broadcast, radio, there's graphic design, we do event planning, we write all sorts of press releases, we work in tandem with the journalism club. So at the end of everything, you can communicate any professional message across any medium. So what do you think about public relations?
It's been extremely chippy through the first half on both sides of the court, especially in the paint where the bodies are being thrown around and people are bumping and rubbing into one another. There's also been a factor in terms of traveling and turning the ball over, which both teams will look to clean up come into the second half. It will be interesting how things shape up. We'll send it back up top.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
All right, back up here in the media booth at halftime, the Express with a 6-point lead over the London Lightning. I'm Aaron Sanders, that's JP Justin Prince. And I'll agree with what Cody Wall said earlier. There are a lot of physicality between these two teams, but then again, after covering this league for about 4 years, we're not surprised at how capable this London-Windsor rivalry is.
Yeah, especially between these two teams. It's not just the distance, it's not just the geographical rivalry. It's how difficult these two teams have always played against each other, and how every single game has really been very close between these two teams in their history so far. We're seeing that tonight, and how this game has gone back and forth between London and Windsor in momentum. Windsor's got the momentum back for now. The question is, who will control it out of the locker rooms?
How about that first quarter surge from the Express? In addition to that, London keep on fighting back. But the underdog, I think, coming into tonight's game is DeAndre Thomas. What defensive hustle this guy has been providing in the final stages of the second quarter.
We talked about so many times about his rebounding and his physicality on the offensive side. We have not seen too many times where he's had a game like this steals-wise, where he's just in there, gets the arm, gets the steal in, able to break up a couple different plays. And Windsor needs him to keep on doing that, I think, tonight. That's kind of been breaking up London's flow on the high-tempo offense, and that's what's been working defensively to set up so many fast breaks and so many chances so far tonight.
Kirk Williams Jr. shining for the London Lightning, along with the other veterans, Garrett Williamson, and of course, Alex Superman Johnson coming off the bench, being effective so far in his first game in the yellow and black.
I know Coach Hetherington wanted to slowly work in Alex Johnson, but he needs, I think, to maybe get a bit more playing time in that second half. Looked like it turned the offense around the way it was going with London after that first quarter. Bit of niftier plays, able to have the craftiness to score offensively. I think it's mainly just about making sure they're on the same page play calling wise. We've seen a couple of those passes go off the mark a little bit in some cases while trying to learn the system. We'll have to see how much he comes into play, though, in the second half and how much he becomes a factor in the game plan.
With a little bit of the Lightning flaws, they're redeeming themselves because of the foul trouble situation for the Express.
Yeah, with the 6 fouls in the second quarter, in fact, that really helped them just chip away to get back into things. 4-1s to London and has had so far in this game. Windsor can't afford to do that. They've already got Tate in foul trouble. They got Thomas with 2. They got Anderson with 2. They can't afford to keep on getting fouls to all of their main key players tonight.
Absolutely. We'll step aside from this game for a moment, talk about the other games that are going on right now. Cape Breton Highlanders on their way to 6 wins in a row as they lead 106-93 against the Halifax Hurricanes. Meanwhile, over at the New Avenir Center, the Moncton Magic are about to put away the Island Storm. The Island Storm on a losing streak, while Cape Breton's on a good winning streak.
Yeah, to start with Cape Breton, you gotta say they are getting things together since that big victory over the Moncton Magic a few weeks ago to break up their winning streak. Since then, guys like Bruce Massey have caught on fire in the NBLC. 22 points per game right now in the season, leading to MVP chance for the Cape Breton Highlanders fans. For the Moncton Magic, meanwhile, it's going to be interesting to see how they try and get on going. They have a lot of good players, of course, on their squad still. They lost, though, an MVP candidate in the past week or so, and Doug Herring Jr. just after the game finished up here last time on the Windsor Express Network. That was a huge loss. Now it's about trying to focus on and try and get wins together, especially in the middle portion of the season.
All right, so that's what the story is going on between those two games. But back to this game. Keys for the second half. If you're Elliot Etherington, what are you telling to your Bolts right now?
I think right now you have to strike while the iron is hot for them. I wouldn't be surprised to see them extremely fast-paced off the gun and try and get through the Windsor defense and try and tucker them out and get them into foul trouble. Force them to make some difficult fouls to not allow the easy layups. Also expect them to continue to get the rebound working because the box outs, especially after the media timeout of the first quarter, have come together for London. Not many offensive boards for the Windsor Express since that point. Lastly, expect them to try and stretch the floor a bit more because they have not taken as many threes. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that and try and get that game working for them.
Windsor Express, they're finding troubles defensively when they keep on seeing the London Lightning streaking right down and trying to go for those baskets. In addition to that, we're seeing Garrett Williamson provide the majority of the damage by going to the line. How do the Windsor Express stop that big old offensive run from the London Lightning?
I think right now for them, it's going to be difficult. As Scott Newman had said before, when it came to foul trouble before, it's about showing your hands and say, we're not touching these players when playing defense. Be there physically for the contest, but make it a good contest. You can't reach in and swat in and get more and more fouls building up, or else that's where London can strike. As well, you got to make sure that you can't make sloppy turnovers. So many sloppy turnovers tonight we've been seeing, and so many times where players like Jones or Wormley have tried to go for no passes, and it's plunked off a player's face. You got to make sure you're on the same page offensively. Lastly, you gotta hope that you got that conditioning together in practice, because if you do not, it's going to be another case where Windsor collapses in the second half that they've been trying to overcome all season long so far. It's the most awkward and something of a situation they have never been a part of so far in the franchise history. The question is, can they overcome it starting in the second quarter of the season?
Absolutely. We got 24 minutes of action left. One more note before we sign off here for the halftime show. Here's a fun fact. The all-time record between the Express and the Lightning have the Lightning leading that 37-29. So I think it helped out, too, when the Lightning had those back-to-back seasons, too. The Windsor Express, they're trying to find themselves to get back into the winning thing. Because remember, keep in mind, too, Express won their first few games of the season series last season before London came in and struck it rich.
And I think this is still a must-win for both of these teams because of the way the season's been going. London wanting to get back to 500. Windsor needing to turn things around on their offensive game so far with the 3-7 start. It's about turning it around now, because the more wins and insurance you have away from the 5th place in the former Central Division, the more likely you'll be in the postseason. If you are within one game, that's when the pressure will come up once you reach March.
All right, at the half, once again, the Express 55 and the Lightning 49. We'll be back to call the second half in just a few moments here from the WFCU Center. You're watching the Windsor Express Basketball Network, brought to you by Booster Juice.
starts here, where Jamie lost 145 pounds and became a leader, inspiring others to get active. Where Cheryl didn't let her fear of water keep her kids from learning to swim. Where Valerie got fit after retiring, and at 90 years old, she's still dancing to the beat. Vitality, courage, transformation. A healthier you starts here. What will your story be? Join the YMCA today.
I'm on the sidelines with Horace Wormley of the Windsor Express. How do you guys feel you're playing so far in this game?
We're playing really well, man. Loving the way we're attacking the other team on defense. We're playing defense well. Only thing we need to clean up a little bit of is transition defense. We do that, man, we'll be all right.
And then early in the season, a question was chemistry, how you guys had an extremely short preseason. Do you think the chemistry is starting to build as the season goes on?
Absolutely. Not only are we starting to know each other much better, but we're starting to understand what Coach Jones wants and understanding the system. And yeah, short preseason will do that to you, but we're in a good spot right now, so just continue to build.
And then finally, what are you guys going to look to close out this game?
Continue to do what we've been doing, impose our will as much as we can offensively. We have a lot of weapons, so we're going to continue to go to those weapons, and they have to adjust to us. Yep.
Thank you. Yep. I'm going to send it back upstairs to the booth.
All right, Cody, thank you very much. Once again, at the half, it's 55-49 in favor of the Windsor Express, and we'll come back for the second half after these messages.
So public relations is like being a bridge between an organization and their public. As this public relations expert, you are a liaison, so you have to connect the brand or the business or the company with their public in such a way that the public responds to them in a positive manner. So the advantages of taking public relations at St. Clair College is that we have access to the Mediaplex. Now the Mediaplex offers us a converged education. It's one of 3 in the world and the only one in Canada. What that means is that we're taught in film, broadcast, radio, there's graphic design, we do event planning, we write all sorts of press releases, we work in tandem with the journalism club. So at the end of everything, you can communicate any professional message across any medium. So what do you think about public relations?
Welcome back to the WFCU Center for more NBL Canada basketball action as the Express and the Lightning are doing battle. The Express lead 55-49. Aaron and JP back up here in the booth. JP, a very aggressive start for the Windsor Express, but we're seeing the London Lightning get back into it. And once again, if this 401 rivalry is an indication of anything, it goes to show that all these plays and all this game might come to is potentially the second half.
Yes, there's so many games that can be decided in this third quarter. As my partner, Brett Hedges, for some of the games, and the former lead announcer here had once said before, the third quarter is the most important quarter, especially the first 6 minutes of a quarter, because if you control those 6 minutes, you can control the tempo, really, for the remainder of the game, especially if you fall to a big lead in that time span.
Absolutely, and I firmly agreed with that. And one of the issues the Windsor Express have been having has been trying to stay within themselves and play a full 48, and that's the bottom line. If the Express are able to pull this out, not only they'll get that chemistry that Horace Wormley was talking about, but they will pick up their first back-to-back victories in this season.
And that's a huge motivation booster, I think, too, because opposing coaches have always told us when they've come in these past few games, especially, that the team is much more talented than its win-loss record, really. Some of the head coaches we've spoken to. It's just about trying to get things together because it's taken so long to get the chemistry with a short turnaround. It's good toward that. It's starting to come together now at the right time, I think, to try and turn things around on the season.
And keep in mind, too, you look at the power rankings, and one of their writers, they said their record is not indicative of how they play. Yeah. And it keeps on going that each and every week. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, they were dead last in the power rankings. Now they're in 8th. However, the team one-upping them is the London Lightning. They're in 7th place. So think about it. A Windsor Express win can move them up to about, I would say, either 7th or 6th this week because of the importance and how big this win is for the Express. Because keep in mind, their next game, they're going to have a challenge right into their hands in Moncton.
Yeah, that one's going to be a true test of where the roster's sitting because of how good Moncton is as one of the most dominant teams this season record-wise. If you can compete and/or get a victory against them, you can win against everybody. If you can't, then I think it's back to the drawing board for the Express, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a move or two before the end of the month.
It's a matter of closing out if you're the Express, and it's a matter of getting everything to be less sloppy for the Lightning as Juan Patillo botches the alley-oop. And it will stay with the Express. You know, one thing I've been seeing with Patillo, he's been the bully among boards when it comes to second chance opportunities. A few games ago, he was the main reason why the Express were able to tie the game up and win it in overtime. And we've seen the last game when they played against PEI, he came in, swooped in, and slammed it down near the end of the game.
Yeah, that was an absolutely thrilling slam dunk, too, that really brought a lot of energy in the game. We've seen some of that so far tonight. None of that so far from Windsor on the offensive side.
And meanwhile, the offensive side will continue to eat the clock up as the Express will get the ball from the sidelines. 8 seconds on the shot clock. And the inbounds pass goes to Wormley. Anderson with 2 on the shot clock. Gets the fake, gets the shot, misses the shot. And the big rebound right down from Kirk Williams Jr.
And with the shot clock down to just 1 right there, he just had to hurry and just chuck up the shot. Just couldn't get the footing.
So meanwhile, the Express get the ball back. And here's Patillo trying to drive through. Could have been an offensive foul, but they won't call it. The ball gets hit around, and after the ricochet, here's Kirk Williams Jr. Wants the foul, gets the foul, but not the way he expected.
I think that was great awareness there from Tate, because as soon as he seen the play falling apart from the Express before it was even stolen, he was already down there at half court to prepare to defend one-on-one, and had just left just enough separation to get the charge without getting the defensive foul that could have been crucial.
Here's Anderson from the right side, and here's Wormley. Wormley trying to drive. He'll fire it. Can't bury it. And the Lightning capitalizing on the rebounds. This time it's Capers. Down to the floor, Williamson up and in.
And just an easy layup that time for one of the best players in the league that can do so in terms of layups. Just only one player inside, only a single hand. You're going to make that as a professional player about 8 times out of 10.
The Express have yet to score in the third quarter as Tyrell Tate will drive in and miss it. Cochran can't get the rebound. It will go the other way.
Ice cold from offense from the field right now. 0 for 3 if my calculations are correct so far. Wizards just got to take smarter shots. They're going deep into the shot clock and not really having any ball movement. They need to start moving the ball.
And here's Williamson. Fires it. And it will go in. Once again, Garrett Williamson a machine down low, and Xavier Moon will get the assist too.
Make it 4 and 1s for Williamson alone. But to get to Moon in your point, 9th in total assists on the season with 40 for the former member of the North American Basketball League. It was a standout there.
And you know what's interesting about this game too, JP? 2 interesting factoids coming into today. We have 5 players who have played in the TBL, in Cochran, Kendrick, Gaines, Moon, and Thomas, and 3 players who were teammates in the TBL, as Wormley tries to go inside and he'll get fouled. But going back to that point, there are 3 players on the floor tonight that used to be teammates for the Nevada Desert Dogs. That's Luke Cochran, AJ Gaines, and Jalon Kendrick. So you see it all coming together. It's quite hard to see, see yourself playing against your former teammates. But once again, in the game of basketball, you can't stop at nothing, and you can't take it easy on anybody else either.
You absolutely can't take it easy on anybody. I think that shows the quality of, 1, the TBL, and 2, the players. And guys like Thomas going over there to that league, kind of like as a bounce back season really for him on his career, because beforehand had struggled with London, went over to that league, got things back going, able to come back to Canada.
As Moon gets that floater to go, keep in mind Nick Evans did the same thing too last season before coming back and becoming one of those fan favorites for the Moncton Magic. So you got 2 NBL players that have left and decided to come back who are really well veterans. Ball is loose, and here's another veteran, Anderson to Patillo.
Not his best shot, not his best spot rather on the field, but that time quickly getting the pull-up just enough to roll in.
Garrett tiptoes the baseline, finds Moon, and he'll miss it. Heartbreak effort right there from Xavier Moon. Here's Wormley off the double team, and Moon takes it away. It's worth noting too that the Express get the ball back. Once again, sloppy efforts from both of these clubs in the last possession. Cochran loses control of the ball. Here is the London Lightning back on offense. And it will be a foul. For a second there, I thought Capers was going to be called for the double dribble.
Yeah, that was a close play there. But that puts Wormley into a bit of trouble with the second.
So Cochran will come out. Griffiths will come back in. As once again, Luke Cochran played his first game back from an injury against PEI this past Sunday. Had a terrific game as Bolden gets the easy high-low pass.
Yeah, that was a great pass through a couple defenders there and squeezing through 2 to get the right-handed layup.
Wormley drives by. He'll fire it and buries it. So the Express back up 3 rather. Here's Capers looking for somebody. He finds Bolden. Williamson gets the pick. Williamson fires and gets it. Garrett Williamson getting the space from the pick, and he knocks it down from about 15, 20 feet.
And I think it was a smart offensive play because they noticed the 2-3 zone setup and the hesitation from Griffiths to figure out who do I defend, that gave him just enough space for the jumper.
Griffiths from downtown.
And an absolutely great 3-pointer. He's been heating up at times so far tonight. Usually when he heats up offensively, he does so defensively too.
Oh, what a move by Garrett Williamson. He puts it up and in, and the lead is 2 again. On the other side, Tate. Up top, Wormley. 1-on-1 with Moon. Griffiths driving, misses the shot. Capers with the rebound. Capers, another one of those Lightning veterans. And here's Bolden, knocks down the 3. And Maurice Bolden gives the Lightning their first lead of the game.
And there's what we haven't seen much from London since the first quarter. Stretching out the defense, going inside out. That time, Bolden left wide open with no defense to come over.
It's opportunity or desperation time if you're the Windsor Express, because you've seen this lead deflate big time. London leading this quarter 16-9. with 6:39 remaining in the third quarter.
And it's just come down to not any smart shots from Windsor so far. They need to start increasing the ball movement and make smarter decisions, taking way too long on the clock.
Wormley gets rejected. Oh my. Marcus Capers getting rejected, but they're going to count that as a shot clock violation. But regardless, good effort from Capers down low, because this is a guy who is 6th in total blocks this season, 12 alone, and he just added another one.
Yeah, he's a good defender and has been for the past few seasons for the London Lightning for sure. And it continues to be difficult here, as it looks like we have a discussion here, it looks like, from some of the referees all of a sudden.
So they will figure this out, as Chris Jones will come back in for Angelo Griffiths.
Pardon me, Tate there, should really say. So there's the double point guard system that we see more and more in impact in the NBLC. That was a possibility we might see with the London down the road, but something we've been seeing now more and more so since Jones was signed to the Windsor Express to be that backup point guard.
In addition to the conversations we had prior to this game, JP, that's the way to go in this game. It's all about the speed. It's all about the guards becoming a Swiss Army knife, if you will. It appears they're going to give the Express the ball back.
And I don't know what they were going to do there. The shot clock was at maybe half a second.
That was a weird play. I thought it was shot clock violation.
It looks like they might have said they had maybe 2 tenths.
There'll be a quick foul down low. Once again, I'm quite surprised that the Express got the ball back. We seen the referee signal it was a shot clock violation.
The thing is, there was that officials conference there, the referee conference rather, and they want to make sure they get the call right. It looks like they might have said something maybe half a second left on the clock at the time.
And the Express were half a second late on defense as Bolden misses that shot from the outside. And here's Jones, got the shove, will continue to go anyway, and kisses it off the glass goodnight.
And he continues to control the second unit the way he's been playing so far for the Memphis, Tennessee native.
Williams Jr. outside for 3. He'll put it there and will regain the lead for London. Bill Jones telling the team to come on now. Anderson, Griffiths, easy 3, and he misses it. Cross-court pass. Williams Jr. controls it. He'll fight through and miss the easy 2. Griffiths on there for the rebound. And here's Jones, almost got pickpocket, switched around to Patillo. He'll spin around, and he will travel.
And it looks like it was on that little shove there to Moon. Just way too much traffic there for Patillo to deal with as we reach the media timeout of here, Aaron.
68-66, London leads. Media timeout, we're back.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Hey, Express Nation, you know, Juan Patillo will be at the downtown Booster Juice location from 11 to 12 p.m. on Saturday, December 29th. That's tomorrow, so feel free to come out and meet and greet with the Express player and enjoy some lunch at Booster Juice. Juan Patillo, one of the fan favorites here in Windsor. Once again, getting some great recognition, JP.
Absolutely, having a good night overall tonight for the Windsor Express. Got into a little foul trouble at times so far, but when he has been in a good rhythm this season, he has been one of the main impact players. When he's having a down night, that's where Windsor seems to struggle on the scoreboard, like they have, unfortunately, for them in this second half so far.
Absolutely. Out of town scores. Once again, quick update: the Moncton Magic take care of the Island Storm, 116-102. A game where Moncton had the advantage all the way, but talk about a 34-point performance from the Island Storm in the second quarter. Their leading man throughout that game was Tyree White. He ends up with a double-double, but the game ball goes to both Wayne McCulloch and Gentray Thomas, filling in that void that Doug Herring Jr. left. But both of those players ended up with double-doubles. Good on them. And the Cape Breton Highlanders, once again, on a big winning streak. 6 in a row for them as they win 106-93. Game ball goes to Bruce Massey once again. 32 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals rather, 2 assists and 1 block. That's a full stat line, my goodness. And 27 points go to Mike Poole for the Halifax Hurricanes. Halifax still trying to find their footing once again after a slow start to the season, but Cape Breton, my goodness.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to Bruce Massey. 12 points in that first quarter really set the tempo for this game and how he played, plus logging major minutes for the Highlanders.
One of the leading minute leaders in the league. As Patillo misses a shot, he wanted a foul but won't get it. Quick steal by Jones. He'll put it up and in.
How about that for a great steal and play down the floor? Chris Jones, absolute statement play once again. He's just controlled this game tonight as the floor general, more so than that even, as kind of a defensive anchor on the floor.
He was the only player that did not give up on the play as the Express were ready to go back on the transition defense. And Jones will go off to the line. Completes the three-point play, and the Express get the lead back 69-68 with 4:42 remaining in the third. Lightning with the ball back. Aaron past the Bolden. He'll control it, drives right down, gains, puts it up, no good. And it will stay Lightning way because Anderson touched it last.
Yeah, a lot of traffic down low. Absolute traffic down low, I should really say. And look who's back into the game here, Aaron. Someone that made a statement in the second quarter and really changed some of the offensive momentum for London.
That's right, Superman Johnson back in, or should I say Alex Johnson. Regardless, funny enough, he was traded to about 3 teams, and he didn't even play in any of them until today.
Yes, a good jump shot there from Gaines, but great point, traded 4 times in 5 months. First at the draft combine to the St. John Riptide from the edge. Then traded from the Riptide all to the Central Division to Sudbury. Then Sudbury for future considerations now, keep in mind, to Windsor. Then cash considerations to London earlier this week. And this right about the same time the rig moves as the foul's called on the floor.
That has to be a record in the most trades in the season. He even played 2. That's an interesting factoid. Once again, quick foul down low. Good take from Jalon Kendrick, rather.
Now, I find that absolutely interesting to be traded so many times. I think it comes down to wanting to not rush yourself onto a roster, you know what I mean, when signing a contract, because it's just those were his signing rights that got traded. So he can elect to sign where it need be, whoever owns the team's, the MBLC rights, rather. I think it was just the case of waiting for the perfect situation to showcase his skills in the starting 5.
Absolutely, as the Lightning will go down to the line. And the first free throw is good for AJ Gaines. But once again, going back to this London Lightning team, one of the few teams in the league that had a roster turnaround of big sorts, JP, and they're just finding their ways to keep on getting the job done despite their 2 home losses before the Christmas break.
And I was they kind of just blew it up, really, to bring in a lot of youth to this team. That's a great jump shot.
And Horace Wormley will add 2 more, cuts the lead down to 1 with 3:40 remaining. But getting back to your point, young players, that's where the emphasis is at.
And it kind of changes the swing of things.
Offensive foul. It will be Express ball.
And that time it was Gaines just running straight into a pick being set by the defenseman, or just knocked over the defenseman, rather. Just an obvious call there for Gaines for a second.
And Horace Wormley did a good job placing his feet right near the elbow. And therefore, they get the ball back. Here's Jones. Thomas wants it. He won't get it, though, but Griffiths will. 8 on the shot clock. They'll get it back up to Wormley to reset. Down to 5. Wormley. Griffiths. Got it.
And we got a heck of a ball game coming down here at the WSU Center. back and forth scoring. No one able to control the momentum quite yet. It's the question of who's going to step up on D.
Double team, backcourt violation.
And that was because of Thomas. He gets the handshake for one good reason, Aaron.
How about that?
He came in like a brick wall on the double team, forced Johnson off his footing, and forced the turnover for the backcourt violation. Another good defensive play from DeAndre Thomas tonight.
This has to be one of the finest games in DeAndre Thomas's NBL career because of the defensive effort. He's outside of his box and near the three-point line. Wormley back up. And here's Jones. Puts the star step. He'll drive. He'll fire it. He scores!
And that was another difficult one with the traffic. Nearly got a foul called on that situation too. Great little hop step to the defense.
That's going to be a foul on DeAndre Thomas. He put his hand in the cookie jar and got caught there. Once again, that's a problem when you're being too aggressive on defense or just having that good look. You just can't control the hands. And I remember you talking at halftime, one of the keys of the game is to make sure the Express show their hands to the referee and say, hey, I'm not fouling them. They're going right into my body, so what do I do here? Quick steal, Thomas! And we got a guy down as Wormley will give it to Griffiths, and he'll miss it. London's back on full strength, as they would say in hockey. Ball gets poked around, it'll stay London way.
And when Capers was down on the floor, he was reaching towards his face here because it looks like trying to see what the exact situation was there, but that was an absolute tank slapper of a rush into DeAndre Thomas on the play there.
What bedlam he is causing, and that's saying good things about him. I mean, again, when he spreads the floor so well, you could see a lot of confidence is being put onto the Windsor Express as that shot won't go. Oh, look at the coast-to-coast move, and it will count. Terrell Tate.
And now this is a chance for Windsor to try and get a run. Someone needs to take the control back in this matchup, and no one has done so in this third quarter.
And it's going to be a timeout called by London. Elliot Etherington will talk it over. I'm sure he's not pleased with the effort in the last few minutes that prompted into double teams, but I know one thing for sure. You have to stop DeAndre Thomas. We'll take a break and come back.
The market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
78-72 is the score. We were looking at one of the previous plays. It looked like Marcus Capers was down on the floor for quite some time, JP. But it goes to show this Express defense is smothering, but they got to cool down a little bit because, again, that foul situation might come back into play.
Yeah, it could. That's where some of the tempers could come in. It looks like it was a case where Thomas, when he got that steal just a few moments ago, when reaching up may have made contact towards the eyes, but able to stay in the game at the very least for the rest of that possession before the timeout. That's the main positive because Capers is the injury reserve designate for Kevin Ware right now. You can't afford to lose another guy in that situation.
You know, when a game is tense like this, I'm just going to say the old adage an old London friend of mine used to say when we used to do the London broadcast. It's getting a little bit chippy, so bring on the dippy. And I think we're going to see a lot of chippiness going on in the next 13 or so minutes that we have left in this game as the free throws made by Tate. So the Express get the ball back and the lead. They're up 7. Correction, that's the Lightning getting the ball back. And here's Johnson. His first game in a Lightning uniform, and he'll dish it to Phillips, who puts it up and in.
And the Mad Dog, again, cutting in. A little softer touch for Phillips, able to cut right back in for the former All-Star and Finals MVP.
Express trying to look for options. Good ball work from Thomas. Finds Jones. And he'll step it back up right now. and Johnson will be tagged with a foul. That cookie jar is just becoming an issue for both of these clubs as Johnson will get called for the reach-in.
And I think this is a case where the officials want to keep control of the game. They don't want emotions to ride high and it get too physical. I think they're trying to control that the way they're calling the game right now.
But once again, you got to imagine the type of pressure the referees are in because of this 401 rivalry as DeAndre Thomas gets it in. It's one of those keys that you got to keep attention to if you are one of the refs, because it could get physical in about a second or so.
Totally agree with you.
And Moon takes himself to the moon and gets the jumper to go.
Yes, that time just a Houdini act on defense once again.
Wormley tumbles, Jones fakes, wants the foul, won't get it. And here comes the Lightning again. Johnson on the dish, slamming it home big time is A.J. Gaines. And A.J. Gaines cuts the lead to 3.
And there's a reason Gaines is shooting over 50% on the season so far off the bench for the London Lightning. Double-digit score as well.
Tate finds Jones.
And at this point, it's absolute money if you are Chris Jones right now from the field. Shot clock, though, is off, Aaron.
Shot clock irrelevant at this point. 12 seconds to go. Johnson skip past. Oh, what a move to Jelon Kendrick. As he'll get 2 more. Down the 2. Wormley, he'll make a wish. And he'll miss it. And that's the story for the third quarter. Lightning coming back, but it's the Express with a 3-point lead. We'll come back for the fourth quarter right after this message and a word from St. Clair College.
The market has changed, and I have to adapt. I'm not just getting theory, I'm getting skills. A degree isn't necessarily a pathway to their career. Being industry ready is. I choose to take control of my future, and my path is St. Clair College. I choose to be here.
It was an up and down quarter for the Express right now as they were turning the ball over a lot during the first 7-8 minutes of play. Seemed to settle things down as the quarter went along and seemed to pull ahead a little bit, but they seem to close in the gap so far right now. Now, as for players, I'm looking for impact in the fourth quarter. If it's for the Express, I'm looking for Jones. He's been a great addition to the team, providing a great need of offensive mobility and just ball moving off the bench. Now, for the London, it's Williamson. The guy can't be stopped right now. Windsor does not have an answer for him. And it's not a bad thing to have a name like Williamson. I hear there's this guy from Duke. He's pretty good, so if he's anything like him, you have an okay player there. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who pulls this game out, but we'll look for it in the fourth quarter. I'm going to throw it back up top.
Well, Cody Wall up there, our sideline reporter, he has Chris Jones and Garrett Williamson stepping up for both teams. But in addition to that, JP, I just see one X factor, DeAndre Thomas.
Yeah.
If he spreads the floor like that, especially for a big man like him, he could probably be the make or break point for the Windsor Express. So plenty of players to watch here tonight.
I agree with Cody on the needed player stepping up, but you're right on Thomas because this is the best defensive game, steal-wise, we've seen all season from him so far. And he's getting better and better each game. There's a reason the Express said this is the best shape that he's been on the season, down to 295 pounds entering the campaign with his body type. So hard to defend as well on the offensive side. Could see him stepping up. Wouldn't be surprised, though, to see someone like Moon or Walden get more touches and more shots in the fourth for London.
Remember, London leads this season series 1-0. This is their second of 9 meetings as that shot won't go and the Express get another rebound. Last year's season series, 4-4. The Express had an early start of the season, but the Lightning picked it up as Jones will miss the easy deuce. Johnson on the side. Over the shoulder pass to Gaines. Phillips will go to work, and he gets flustered, and here comes the Express again. And there's a quick 3, and it goes.
Great corner triple, great play. Windsor's offense quickly back down the floor, had 2 different players set up as options, picking the right one would take for the 3.
And Gaines trying to fight through. He does. Finds Kendrick, but it gets taken away, and it's Tate again on the steal. Wormley will go to the basket, and will go to the free throw line as well.
And another tough drive inside. Taking the physicality, trying to go for the leader into the layup. And now Wormley having a chance to add to his totals. Where he came into tonight's game shooting a blistering 93% from the stripe.
Second in the league when it comes to free throws is Wormley. Which, like you said, 93%. By the way, Marvin Phillips picked up his 4th foul, so he's in foul trouble too. The London Lightning's got to resort to more options. You see Bolden on the court with Alex Johnson and Xavier Moon as well. And you can see DeAndre Thomas already at the other end of the court waiting for the defense because it's about to pick up. Business is about to pick up, people, as the Express have an 8-point lead. And here's Johnson. Johnson driving. Moon one-on-one. Johnson again with the fake. He'll drive. He finds Gaines, and he'll get the foul. And it will be on DeAndre Thomas, and rightfully so too, JP. His hands were active right in there.
As you said, reaching for the cookie jar. Almost broke the cookie jar. How aggressively he was reaching in there, right into the lap. And now, even more so foul trouble.
DeAndre has 4 fouls, so he has to be careful. As London once again will head off to the line. And it goes for A.J. Gaines.
And that's where the concerns come in there, because we mentioned at the top, 10th in disqualifications, which is fouling out of a game throughout the season. For him coming into tonight, known to have a lot of fouls called against him while also drawing a decent amount. Grand total, again, 10th in disqualifications. That total, 3 fouled out games this year.
10th in the league, and another Express player that experienced foul trouble often is Ryan Anderson. He is 9th in disqualifications as well. Here's Chris Jones, double team, 2 on the shot clock. He'll have to fling it up, and he does. And he almost made it. But Williams Jr. will pick up the rebound. Quick 3. Moon knocks down the 3.
And last year's NAPB Rookie of the Year making it swish. Just a beautiful shooting form for the son of a former NBA player.
And do you know where I think he got that? He got that from Jamario Moon.
I think so too, the nephew, pardon me.
Absolutely. Ball movement, Griffiths, corner. He cannot put it there. So the Lightning with the ball, they still have a chance to get back at it, only a 3-point game. Bolden with the tipper, and it will be a foul.
And a lot of traffic in the lane once again, had to take the foul. Only a couple of fouls apiece so far in the quarter.
It's not bad, but once again, when you look at the foul situation, it really plays a factor, especially for the big man, DeAndre Thomas with 4. Big dog Marvin Phillips with 4 as well. But once again, you don't want to get one of those veterans onto the free throw line, especially Bolden. 74% from the free throw line.
He had a pretty decent clip for sure. Little hesitation for some reason on the free throw. What's going on here? It looks like they want them to come in here for the play. They're trying to make sure who's going to be on the other side of the floor for after the second free throw, and trying to assign arrangements because Tate's already in the corner for the next play.
Oh, I don't see a problem with that, because once again, we've seen DeAndre Thomas down there when Tate was making his free throws, and that one will go. So it's a good strategy. You got to keep in mind, too, when you have somebody with a hot hand like Angelo Griffiths, or you have somebody like Terrell Tate that's known how to rise up to the occasion, you got to put a body on him.
You absolutely have to. You can't just leave someone wide open even with the free throws going on, because that could set up a quick play and the pass into the corner on the next way up. And
here's Tate with the ball, fade away, will miss it. And Jamario Moon, I meant to say Xavier Moon would get the rebound, but it will go Express way.
And again, more traffic once again, taps it out of bounds. Still, a ways to go in this game. Windsor having the momentum now, but the way this game has gone, all it takes is London forcing a couple steals. They get back into it. They take away Windsor's rhythm. they step it up, and if London can answer on offense, they're back into the game.
In a game which I would highly describe as a game of runs, Windsor with the slimmest of all possible leads, won, as that shot from Tate won't go. And Williams Jr. tight ropes the sideline, finds an open Moon. They don't miss the three. Johnson with the rebound. They don't call him Superman for no reason. Williams Jr. gets the jump hook to go, and it's a 1-point lead for London as the fans who came here from London are on their feet.
Two different breakdowns in the play. First, no perimeter defense on the first shot. Then, no box out attempt for the Windsor Express. That's how London was able to quickly take advantage.
Wormley inside to Jones. Gives a 1-point lead again for Windsor.
And Chris Jones looking really red hot. Has to be one of the top lead scorers of this game tonight for the Windsor Express.
Johnson outside, misses the three, and it gets poked away from Mo Bolden. Good attempt right there to make sure Ryan Anderson didn't get a piece of it. But nonetheless, it was last touched by the Lightning. And Anderson's holding his head right there because that was a hard attempt from the back.
Yeah, that was very difficult there. And look at a couple substitutions here, too. As the starting lineups are starting to come into the game from both sides now as we head into the closing minutes.
So they're playing the size game as Anthony Otley Jr. comes into the game.
Yes, indeed. Looking at this right now, 3-4 big man for the London Lightning. Windsor responding with their big man with Otley Jr. getting his first minutes of the night.
Jones, the footwork, the baby hook, and he gets robbed. The Lightning get the ball back. And here's Moon, up, no good. Williamson's second chance, yes.
And no one there to box out again with how quick the play was. And you got to give it to Williamson with the speed to put up the quick shot. No time whatsoever to contest it there.
You see Moon guarding Wormley. Ryan Anderson sets the pick. Wormley spins around. Otley Jr. up, no good. But there's a foul down low.
And you have to say this year is kind of in a different role for Otley Jr. compared to last. Yes, a bit more spot minutes in this month so far for the team, shooting 75% for the stripe. But kind of a downside, if it's okay to say, compared to last season where he came off the bench was an impact player.
Yeah, keep in mind too, his minutes have been limited. Keep in mind when you have somebody in his same position like Richard Marty coming off there too and try to get more points, it's a little bit difficult to find yourself back into the system. But in Otley Jr.'s case, he's still on the team. And remember, once again, the only player coming back from last year's roster.
Indeed, right now, it's been a rough campaign. We'll have to see if, as the year goes on, he can get the confidence back.
Bolden's moving, fires it, buries it. Good move from Mo Bolden.
And guess who's in the lead here, Aaron? London back in it. Just like that, as I talked about, you get momentum back, you can retake the lead just in a span of about 3 minutes this time.
93-92 the score with 10 on the shot clock. Anderson fires it. He misses it. Patillo with the rebound. Double teamed. Outside Wormley. Wormley will take it himself. He'll miss it too. Loose ball on the ground recovered by Jones. And he'll back it down. Jones with the footwork on Williams Jr. He'll go inside the drive. Flustered. Anderson, the three. No. Another offensive rebound for the Express.
And Jones nearly got a travel in that too, going for the hop step into the top of the paint.
He was stopped anyhow. As Patillo will miss the shot again. And Moon will pick up the rebound. It's quite interesting that the Express got as much OBs as they can, and if they did, it will be a quick foul down low.
And another tough drive. It looked like some of the assistants wanted them to slow down, take a breather, but that time, Williams Jr. having the confidence to try and cut through the Windsor Express defense. Timeout on the floor.
As they take a breather, so will we. We're right back.
It starts here, where Jamie lost 145 pounds and became a leader, inspiring others to get active. Where Cheryl didn't let her fear of water keep her kids from learning to swim. Where Valerie got fit after retiring, and at 90 years old, she's still dancing to the beat. Vitality, courage, transformation. A healthier you starts here. What will your story be? Join the YMCA today.
Lightning up one. They've been taking care of business here in the second half, JP, but we got to go back to the previous play. One of the issues for the London Lightning has been on the offensive boards, and that's been the same problem for the Express, too. We rarely see the Express get second or third chance opportunities like what we just saw there.
Yeah, the first offensive rebound, you can't blame them. That was a quick play, quick bounce that went that direction. But afterwards, I think it was all on Jones. Jones able to get in front of the box outs at the right time to get the rebounds and keep the possession alive. It's very difficult, and that's something London needs to improve on in the long haul. Well, they haven't had that many issues since the first quarter that way, but if they have another possession sequence of plays like that from Windsor, Windsor can absolutely pounce on them and retake this lead.
How about that? But once again, Chris Jones showing that he's been an X factor for the Express. And keep in mind, this is only his second game when you look at it. So Chris Jones, a Louisville product. As the Lightning will go to the line, this is Kirk Williams Jr. We're seeing Kirk Williams Jr. becoming more involved with the ball as the time goes on for him. Averages 12 points, 5 rebounds a game in his 7th season in the National Basketball League of Canada, and has a plethora of awards aside him too, JP.
Yeah, 3-time champion, of course, 1-time finals MVP. On top of that, being a former 6th man of the year. And of course, coming into tonight, just 44 points away, getting to 2,500 career points. A guy with many accolades and a very difficult player to try and defend.
My question is, how many players are there from the NBLC that has stuck around since 2011 or 2012 as Anderson misses the shot? There's only a handful of them, and we're looking at a couple of them tonight. Williams Jr., what a move, misses the shot. Anderson pokes him. It will be a foul on Williams Jr.
And he'll take a nice little seat with the fans.
Well, it's safe to say, I guess that's the best seat in the house.
One of the best seats in the house, you have to say. Don't forget there's that comfy couch on the sideline. But again, that was another tough defensive play where Williams Jr. tried to force a mistake. Couldn't do so, got called for the reach on the wrist.
Express looking to get the lead back. A 2-pointer will tie it. A 3-pointer will give them the lead. 10 on the shot clock. Matillo will drive. Will miss the 2. And getting it back is Otley Jr.
And a great double clutch down the baseline to get around the jumping defender on the left side of the basket to get the layup on the right side of the hoop. Now tied back up at 94.
And Moon misses the shot. Bolden fights for it. Who will get it? Williams Jr. will. Bolden, corner. 16 on the shot clock. Williamson will time it down. Finds Williams Jr., and he'll miss the 3. Patillo with the rebound, but Wormley will get it, however. Again, this has been a nitty-gritty game. Jones with the fake, with 2 fakes, and he'll miss it. With all those fakes and shakes, he can't get the make. Jones with the steal. It'll be a foul on Williamson.
And another great hustle play. Williamson trying to get that lockdown defense together. He's known for a lot of times. And it looks like both teams need a slight breather. Windsor Express bench absolutely hyped up on the right side of the floor.
Yeah, look at that bench right there. Daniel Dooley sitting down. Chris Jones, and DeAndre Thomas, who has 4 fouls. Really pleased with the effort from this Louisville product. And it's a quick steal. Bolden picks it away.
I understand he was passing to a spot and rather not a player, but you have to know that the player that you're trying to hold the spot is going to go that way.
Johnson misses the 3. Keep in mind, too, the Lightning are last from three-point land. Meanwhile, the Express are first coming into tonight. And here's Wormley. Fakes. Finds Patillo. Gets it to go.
And nearly a turnover there on that play, too, and a great recovery for the pass.
Here's Johnson. On the strong side defense, Moon gets it back. Moon from the weak side. Johnson again. Spins around, fires it. He gets fouled, and he's off to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's just the 4th team foul, and Jones thought that was a travel, it looks like. Him and some of the coaches, too. But you have to say, you got to keep your composure. This is where the best teams come into play. If you lose your composure now, you could get technicals that can change the whole complexion of this game.
You just saw Bill Jones having a little bit of laugh right there, telling his guard, he's like, hey, you got to take it easy now. You know, it's all right. You only got your 3rd foul. Just play smart. You only got 3 minutes and change left. Play the hardest 3 minutes and change that you have ever played. And he's been playing on both sides of the floor as Johnson gets robbed.
How do you miss both of those there? Decent free throws in his career, I should say, but that could be huge.
Wormley finding Jones.
Another great dime, another huge bucket to take advantage of the missed free throws. Now you have to start playing lockdown defense.
It was Anthony Otley Jr. who got the 2, and it's now a 4-point game for Windsor. Here's Johnson. Alley-oop inside a Capers keeper as he gets the alley-oop.
I think in that case, it was the mix of a good drive and knowing you need to silence the crowd. How about that to do so there with the fancy move there?
That's a new level move right there. As Jones will control the offense. Anderson has it. 2-point game, 5 on the shot clock. Anderson going to work, puts it up, gets rejected by Bolden, and another putback attempt as the Express will go back to the line.
And this is another huge chance. The thing is, this is where some of the nervousness can come in. Just the team's 5th, but you have to say, when it comes to Otley Jr., 75% so far this season from the stripe.
Remember, we talked about him a few minutes ago saying how he's not been getting as much minutes, but when it comes to the game, when you have to go up against big guys and physical guys, and including guys that could go up there, you got to put Otley Jr. in that mix too as he knocks down the first free throw.
And especially in the past couple games, when you give him the right situation off the bench, he can do that. He can get you to the line, make the shots, and get you some good rebounds and some good contested defense off the stat sheet.
He knocks down 2 free throws. Full court pressure broken. Here's Gaines, falls away, misses it. Rebound Patillo. Winding down here, under 2 minutes to go in this one. Here's Jones. Patillo off the pick. But Wormley will get it back. 4 on the shot clock. Wormley has to drive. He does. He misses it. Put back! Anthony Otley Jr.
And there we go again. Great last game. Great game this time in the clutch. Showing what he did last season. A huge putback bucket to give the Windsor Express a 102-96 lead.
We will keep it right here. But once again, how about the dissolvement of the London Lightning defense? They didn't see Anthony Otley Jr. coming on that play.
No box out there either. On top of that, when you think of it, not seeing him starting to head towards the basket once the isolation offense layup went up. No one paid attention. They were too focused on trying to get the defensive rebound. Left the back door open, quickly puts it up. And that's where some of those adjustments for the long hole that Coach Ellington had wanted are warranted. Etherington, rather, pardon me.
Absolutely. Remember, Elliot Etherington, head coach of the London Lightning after Keith Vassell, former head coach of the Lightning, mutually agreed to part ways. Overall, he's 1-2. Picked up a good win against Sudbury a week and a half ago, but dropped those 2 home games before Christmas time, and now they're on the heels on a comeback that they desperately need. Who do you go to if you're Elliot Etherington?
I think at this point, you have to go to Garrett Williamson. He has been so clutch in the recent years, especially down the stretch in this, where you give him the ball, have him cut inside and draw on a possible N1 or free throw situation. That's where he can be clutch and close out the game to 1 possession like that.
It's Friday night here at the WFCU Center as the Express are up 6. Williamson gets poked by Otley Jr. He gets the steal! Otley, alley-oop, Patello! Oh, baby!
There is your dagger. Absolute soul crusher for London.
Lightning try to get it back. They'll go to the free throw line. How about that alley-oop from Patello? It seems like, and we talked about this at the beginning of the telecast, JP, second chance opportunities. Who do you call? The one and only Juan Patello.
And in that time, too, a great steal to set up the absolute crowd smasher. But now, still a minute to go. You can't collapse now. That may be the game-winning bucket if London starts getting a run here.
A.J. Gaines knocks down the first free throw. It is now 104-97. 61 seconds remaining here at the WFCU Center. And Gaines knocks down both of them. Full court pressure applied by London as Jones will get the ball. And here's Otley Jr. Lightning's got a foul here. Otley splits through the defense. Anderson fires a 3. Put her there!
Huge shot. Absolutely huge. Needed to have the intentional foul. Where was the fouls? You still had a couple to give.
They find Williams Jr. on the other end and they score. And the Lightning are in triple digits now. Remember, the last game these 2 teams met was on the 6th over at Budweiser Gardens. London won that 99-98. So it's good to see both of these teams in triple digits. As it was the last game, it is coming down to the wire.
And that is where some of the changes the Windsor Express have made in recent weeks come in at that time. They're still trying to feel things out. They're still trying to get the chemistry. And look at this.
Finds Patello. The donut missed the coffee. He gets the late foul.
Foul on the left wrist that time. But I have to say, one of the main things I noticed when we're getting prepared for this game, both teams had been inconsistent down the stretch with the 3 combined shots. If it wasn't for jump shots down the stretch from London, their 2 made shots rather from Moon and Ware, it could have went a different direction. Windsor was ice cold in that game. This game, though, in the same span, they have set the building on fire tonight in Windsor.
And Patello knocks down the first free throw. You know, looking down at what the fans had to say early on, they must have counted the Windsor Express out because of that, because of the rebounding game, and that free throw was flat as day-old soda. But again, getting back to the point, remember, London had the advantage in terms of rebounds and assists today, and the Windsor Express have taken care of both of that, both offensively and defensively, as William Jr. will miss the 3, and Anderson will pick up the rebound. And this could pretty much do it here. Chris Jones, the guy which I firmly believe deserves the game ball, as the shot clock is off. WFCU Center fans on its feet as the Windsor Express will go up 4-7. Game over, 108-100.
And the first time all season they have won back-to-back games, Aaron. Huge victory for Windsor, a must-needed win for them too, especially with challenging opponents coming down the stretch in the next couple of weeks. They needed this. They absolutely sealed it with what many fans could say is one of the best games, if not the best season of the game of the season so far.
This was a must-win for Windsor, and they've got it. Back-to-back wins. They win by 8. We'll be back for the post-game show after these words.
Public relations is like being a bridge between an organization and their public. As this public relations expert, you are a liaison, so you have to connect the brand or the business or the company with their public in such a way that the public responds to them in a positive manner. So the advantages of taking public relations at St. Clair College is that we have access to the Mediaplex. Now the Mediaplex offers us a converged education. It's one of 3 in the world and the only one in Canada. What that means is that we're taught in film, broadcast, radio, there's graphic design, we do event planning, we write all sorts of press releases, we work in tandem with the journalism club. So at the end of everything, you can communicate any professional message across any medium. So what do you think about public relations?
All right, we're back. They gave Ryan Anderson the player of the game honors, but it was a team effort as the Windsor Express beat the London Lightning 108-100, which this game was indicative of what this 401 rivalry was all about, JP. But once again, it goes to the Windsor Express. Such hustle. And it all started with the guards, Chris Jones, to start things off.
Chris Jones, more comfortable, I think, for sure in this second game, having a bit more time to get used to the system. Absolutely key. Offensive rebounds were huge for him. Plays when distributing the ball were huge for him. The triples were great for him. The contested layups were great for him. Absolutely took control of the game off the bench tonight and gave Windsor exactly what they needed when they brought him in on this rotation, for this rotation.
But what about DeAndre Thomas coming off the bench and spreading the floor on what we did not expect to happen? He spread the floor defensively, and we've seen him on a couple of hustle plays near midcourt.
I said this a couple of times. We've seen him rebounding-wise. We've seen him in the low post hook shot-wise. But it looked like this game, he was much more conditioned, so to speak. Had a bit more athleticism. To do that was like a brick wall to force some of these steals. They need more of that from him, I think, for the rest of the season, because if you have him playing like that every night, he could be a transcending player in this kind of a league.
Ryan Anderson, player of the game for the Windsor Express, but you know what? I'm not surprised there. He got a couple of good looks tonight.
He absolutely did, including the game-sealing, I think, the soul-crushing triple after the soul-crushing dunk that we had from Vatillo. Oh, it may not show up as much on the stat sheet in some cases for him, but he was good on the defensive side as well. When he got his number called on both ends of the floor, he was able to take advantage, as well as say hi to some fans and some of the best seats in the house, too.
Oh, absolutely. Most of the fans that came here tonight got the best view, too. But you know what? We talked about Windsor. Let's talk about London. What did they do good tonight, and what do they need to improve on?
I think London tonight, they kept in the game for the full basically for 46.5 minutes tonight. Like, they kept on. Once they were going down, they quickly were able to swing back the momentum in this game, forced mistakes from Windsor to capitalize on that. The things they had to improve on, though, still had to improve on the rebounding a little bit, of course. On top of that, they need to work on consistency on the offensive end, because the reason some of the runs happen, not just the energetic plays from the Express, when it's been a slower tempo, they've been missing they missed a lot of shots tonight. They got to make sure that they shoot high percentage looks and make the high percentage looks, because they cannot afford to slow down in against these kind of opponents.
How about the veterans from the London Lightning tonight? We've seen, first off, Superman Johnson, good job for him off the bench, but Garrett Williamson, Kirk Williams Jr., and Mo Bolden keeping the game as close as they did. But you know what? When it comes to it, that's what you got to expect from the London Lightning and these veterans, too. But we've seen a couple of new players, too, stepping up, too. And it all starts with, I believe, Xavier Moon.
Yes, he is. There's a reason he was so good last year in the NAPV and how he's doing so well in the NBLC so far this season. And while this is a younger team, the veterans that have stuck around on this roster rather for London and stuck around for this rotation this year have crucial parts to this team. And having the young players to mix it up and run a faster paced style this year. You're especially more so with the head coaching change this season has played dividends right now. I think it's going to play better with them on the long haul. The question is, can London maybe, as the season goes into January, February, try and get themselves away from the fourth place where Windsor is right now? Because if Windsor plays like this tonight, I have to say, London could be in trouble still standing-wise.
Absolutely, but keep in mind they got one more game of 2018 to go through. They have to travel over to Sudbury to play against a 5. Always a tough game between those two teams, and we won't expect anything less from that Sunday afternoon.
And we're talking about this with a couple of London fans before today's game too. They have a home court advantage, Sudbury, because not only do you have the long distance, they've been able to be most successful on that floor. They are 5-2 it was on home court sole advantage on the season. Just 3-4 on the road to Sudbury 5 so far this season. It's going to be an absolutely challenging one, I think, for London, especially with the distance there to get down to Sudbury from London, about 7-8 hours, give or take.
Absolutely, but keep in mind, the Windsor Express also got a big challenge, too, ring it in 2019, welcoming first place Moncton Magic.
That's going to be an absolutely thrilling match. I mean, one I'm going to put my star next to because I mentioned it before. That's a test game, I think, for the Windsor Express to see where they are. If they can compete and or get the victory against Moncton, of all teams, at the top of the Atlantic Division side of things, I think you're in good shape. If you struggle against them, though, that's where Windsor probably says, okay, our wait-and-see method is we got to start making maybe one or two, use a couple more of our 10 moves on the season and try and make those adjustments. Keep in mind, too, you have guys like Walker that could come in the next couple weeks, potentially, as well for the rotation. It's going to be a test game for sure.
Absolutely, and since that's our last game of 2018, we won't be back till next week. Happy New Year to you. Hope all is well, and hope 2019 is prosperous for you.
I hope so as well, and hopefully everything's good with you. Have to say, hope everything goes well health-wise for the both of us as well, have to mention.
Absolutely, and
yes,
you had some week too, and I think it's worth mentioning, but you did a terrific job tonight.
Yeah, for those that may have noticed, one thing that I mentioned on Facebook and Twitter, unfortunately this week, wanted to keep it away from the game itself tonight, is diagnosed this week with Bell's palsy. You might see it right now on the right side of my face and the left side of my mouth specifically. That's basically, for those that don't know, essentially temporary paralysis of a side of the face. So it's something that can take anywhere from 6 days to 6 months. But as I said to a few producers for different broadcasts I do on top of the Windsor Express, and I'm telling that to you, I plan on not letting this thing hold me down. I hope you as the fans understand. I hope that there's support there for that. But again, the focus is on a team like the Windsor Express, the broadcasts that we see in the NBLC, and to go from there.
Absolutely, and you've done a heck of a job here tonight, and I can't expect anything less for the rest of the way. We've been doing this for almost 4 years now, and it's a never-say-die attitude when it comes to both of us, as well as the St. Clair College crew, too. So that's the story from us here. Once again, the final score, the Windsor Express 108, the London Lightning 100. Quick 30 seconds, I'll just say this. Our last game of 2018, we want to thank the crew again. We'll be back for 2019, but again, if you're celebrating the new year, for goodness sakes, be careful out there, do the right thing, and we hope to have the pleasure of your company again in the next couple of days. It's going to be great. It wouldn't be great without you, the viewers right there. So stay safe, have a happy new year, and we will see you down the road. On behalf of our St. Clair College crew, Cody Waller, sideline reporter, and the entire crew here for JP Justin Prince, this be Aaron Sanders saying Happy New Year and so long from the Rose City.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.